Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another Lunchtime Live. I'm working from home today, taking a late lunch on a Friday, and I was doing some piddling with some of the schedules. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to go live and talk about some of these 2022 schedules real quick while I'm sitting here looking at them. Got them all pulled up and was making some arrangements to be at some of them. I don't know how many people will even be able to jump on here and look at this, but I'd love to hear some of your comments as we go. Um, but yeah, all the 2022 schedules are out pretty much now. Calendars are filling up. I've got my events, I think, locked in and selected that I'm going to try to make it to. So I'm just going to go through these schedules and let you know the ones I'm going to, and I'd love to hear which ones you are going to in 22. What's up, Kyle? Uh, you're not the only one taking a late lunch, maybe, or you're just watching this on the job. Either way, that's cool. But I'm going to share my screen with you and talk about some of the events I'm going. First, I'm going to talk about the ones I'm not going to. KBF released their trail series schedule. It's a decent looking schedule. Their stuff's kind of focused in the Northeast and kind of out west this year. It's kind of strange. I'm not going to hit any of these events. Nothing against them. I'm just not going to focus on any of the 2022 KBF stuff. The other one that I'm not going to be able to make any of their events, like lock in and chase their AOY, but the schedule looks really good, is All American Kayak Series. I'll probably make the one that hits Table Rock that we're going to share with our local group here, the Natural State Kayak Anglers. But outside of that, I'm not going to make this schedule a priority just because these days, as kayak anglers, we have too many options. So, I really don't have, we can't all make them all. Most of us have real jobs and can't make all these events. So, All American looks really good. I'd love to hit that Palestine event in Texas, but I'm already going to go to 2 Texas events, and I'll get to that in a minute. But not going to make this a focus as far as chasing the AOY or anything. The Table Rock event, though, I'm going to be at that one, and I'm probably going to schedule the Bull Shoals event just because Bull Shoals, my favorite lake in Arkansas. I think Kyle would agree with that if you're still watching, Kyle. So let me get to the schedules I'm really going to fill my calendar up with. First, we'll do the Bass Nation Kayak Series schedule. You guys probably saw our podcast a few weeks ago, maybe over on Kayak Bass Nation, interviewing the Bass guys. They've made some changes this year. They've got a couple of 2-day events mixed in this year, and they're also going to have an Angler of the Year race. And the Angler of the Year race is actually sponsored by Old Town, so that's cool. But their schedule's kind of spread out, and to win AOY, they're taking 4 of your 5 best finishes, and I don't think I can make 4 of their events. So I'm not really going to chase their AOY. But I am going to go to 2 of their events, starting with Lake Fork, probably outside of Arkansas, my favorite kayak fishing lake there is. Not because I always kill it at Lake Fork, but it just has so much tradition to me. The very first big national event I ever went to was at Lake Fork. Anytime they have an event there, I like to try to get back. I've had some decent events there, and I've had some horrible events there. I actually saw my homie Kyle make a huge run, legendary run on day 2 of an event down there. So I've had a lot of friends do well down there as well. But anyway, it just holds a special place. So Lake Fork, I'm going to go to the Lake Fork Bass Nation event for sure. And then Grand Lake, we're going to get to the Grand Lake event. It's, an hour and a half from the house here or so. There's never really been a kayak event on Grand Lake because of some of the weird rules they have there. They're not getting the rules changed for that event, but we're all going to be under the same rules. So whatever. We're all going to have to face the same restrictions and rules on the lake. So it should be a good one in April. And I'm not going to be able to make any of the other ones. I'll probably be at the Classic, but not as an angler. I didn't fish any bass events last year, so I didn't qualify for their championship. I take that back. I fished our state championship, was a bass qualifier, and I fished about half a day and went home and watched the Razorbacks. So I didn't make the Bass Nation Kayak Series championship event this year, but I'm going to go to the Classic anyway, so maybe I'll see some of you guys there. And then the main focus of my schedule, just like last year, or one of the 2 main focuses, is going to be the Hobie BOS series, the Hobie Bass Open series. They put out their schedule. It's a great looking schedule. There's only 9 opens this year as opposed to 10 last year. There's some great locations. I'm going to make sure that I'm at Toledo Bend the week after Lake Fork for the Bass Nation series. I'm going to be at Toledo Bend. I'm going to be at Lake Eufaula. I'm going to be at Broken Bow Lake, Chickamauga. Then my 5th one is for sure going to be Lake Dardanelle. I'd like to squeeze one more in there. The Susquehanna is, everybody's got that on the bucket list these days after seeing all the pictures, but I just don't know that I can make that long of a trip. Then I always like fishing in Wisconsin, so I may make 6 of these, but 5, 100% for sure. I'll be at Chickamauga, Toledo, Eufaula, Broken Bow, Dardanelle, and maybe one more. So I'm going to chase the Angler of the Year race in this again. I finished 41st, 44th. I don't know. In the low 40s in the Angler of the Year race last year, just barely missed making the TOC. So that's on my mind again this year. I want to make the TOC this year, so I'm gonna get on it. Go to Susky. Outdoors to Go says I want to go to that. I'd have to fly up there, so maybe I've got an Old Town brother or sister out there that's got a boat I could borrow. I could fly up with my rods and make it happen. Elvis, I qualified for the Classic last year right here in Dallas and skipped it just because it conflicted with the Sam Rayburn event. I couldn't do both. I would have loved to have made it last year to see my homeboy Mark win that event. But, yeah, you can't do them all, man. We got to pick and choose. Then, of course, outside all these national events, we've got our local club. I think Kyle Long's in the comments there. He's the president of our Northwest Arkansas Natural State Kayak English Club. And it's a pretty good schedule. So in between these national events, going to sprinkle in some of these Northwest Arkansas events and even try to get down to our Natural State Kayak Anglers Central Trail and fish a few of those. And if you look at that national schedule, for me anyway, the month of March is open, so I hopefully should be able to hit all these March events that Natural State Kayak Anglers are putting on. 2 great schedules. The Northwest Arkansas schedule is awesome. Beaver Lake can be tough, but it's a great place to fish, in my opinion. A couple times at Table Rock, and then 10 killers on there, Pump Back, and or Chimney Rock, you may know it as. That's a great place to go fish. You can catch a PB Smalley right there in Oklahoma, which sounds kind of weird, but you can sure do it. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm going to focus on the Bass Open Series this year, just like I did last year, and a couple of the Bass Nation Series with some local stuff sprinkled in. So, probably 8 national events, plus some local and regional stuff. So love to hear what you guys are going to fish next year. If you want to drop it in the comments of the live stream or just in the comments on the chat, love to run into some of y'all next year and grab a beer or whatever and talk a little bit of fishing. But appreciate you jumping on this Lunchtime Live. I'm going to finish eating what I was eating here and get back to work and try to finish up this day and have a great weekend. See you, everybody.